So welcome to Qigong Live Online today. Well, I've got an interesting class to do today. Something's come up that I'm not sure how it's going to manifest, but I've got an idea, which it'll be interesting. Into this. On a Tuesday morning, I'm amusing myself. Roll back. Left hand underneath, right hand on top. Cool. Very cool. So what today we're going to do, so part of that, what we do as a human being, is, especially in the Qigong, there's lots of things we do in Qigong which is normally you don't do in your own normal run of life. And one of them is that we bring our mind's awareness to our physical body. We think of our physical body, well, we bring our mind into the physical body and we're aware of the feet we're standing on. You can do this now. You can think of the feeling that it feels in the bottom of your feet touching the ground, and your mind can go there and feel that. You can feel the air around your arms, air around your head. If you just stop for a second, you can feel the whole body's energy moving because of those exercises. You can feel the energy moving around your body. So you bring the mind's idea into the awareness of here. Then you bring your mind's idea into the awareness that we're in a physical body in the space, but we're also sitting in space as such. So your mind now is aware of not only the physical body, how it's feeling, but also awareness of outside of ourselves as well, which is something we do a lot in Qigong, is to have the spatial awareness of that we're part of an energetic field and we're connected to this somehow. And I'm always trying to help people connect to this energy field so they actually can feel that they're actually part of this bigger thing. And so, but what it does is every time you do that, you change your consciousness. So your consciousness is going to change from just being in your head thinking about what you've got to do at work or what you've got to do to go and, I'll use ones that are obvious, ones that have got to go and cut some wood, and someone going to go and plough the drive to get the snow out of the drive. Just mind thoughts of that. But what we're doing is we're bringing our mind differently and our consciously. So we're bringing it out of the mundane terms of things that we have to do, and we're bringing it to a very different place. We're growing consciousness. We grow consciousness with the idea of our body and our body, feeling the energy around us. And then we go to the third part, which is when we watch our body moving. If I'm just going to rock my hips backwards and forwards. And now I'm consciously aware of my hips moving backwards and forwards, and I'm consciously aware that it's making my arm move by itself. So not only am I part of my body and I can feel my body, now I'm watching my body move and I'm consciously aware of the movement of my body, of that arm. I'm consciously moving with that arm, but I'm actually not moving that arm. I'm just moving my hips, and my hips are moving backwards and forwards, and that arm's doing it by itself. So I'm consciously aware of this situation that I can move part of myself by another part, which has a lot to do with the stretching we do as well. The sinew stretching, the sitting and relaxing we've been doing. I'll get terminology right soon. And so we've got that idea of that. So we have all these three pieces: awareness of our body, that we have a body. And now they're going to add another one, the fourth one, aware that our mind has thoughts. That we can think of the wall in front of you. We can think of the computer you're watching or TV, however you're watching it. You can be aware of that. And so your mind's aware of that, your mind's aware of the body, your mind's aware of the space, and the mind's aware of watching your body move. So what we are doing is you're changing your consciousness to all these different avenues of thought that we normally don't have. We only usually have thoughts. Well, I shouldn't say we normally, because some people will have these thoughts anyway, but because they've grown them. Otherwise, you just have a thought of what I need to do, or what's in front of me, or where I'm walking. And that's about as far as your consciousness goes, but we're creating consciousness to think differently. So there's a whole lot of other things happening. And Qigong and Tai Chi are really good at doing that, of changing your conscious level. So you're increasing your ability of your conscience to be outside of the normality that we're taught when you go to school, sit down, write words and write numbers, and that's when you sit there and that's what you do. And you go outside and play in the playground, but you're still really inside your mind, inside a conscious activity. Well, we're changing that. So this is the growth of consciousness, which I think is great. And the more I introduce things that your mind doesn't understand, the more your consciousness changes. It moves, especially when you have an experience of it beyond your mind. It's not just me saying something and you go, oh, okay, that's a thought, and your mind hasn't thought of that. Then your mind opens the possibility of a thought. But when you feel it in your body, now your mind goes, okay, well, I felt that, so that's different things. So now your consciousness changes again. And so that's part of it. So we're going to do an exercise to show you what I mean about that. I'll do a couple of them. One of them I'm going to pinch from Leonard Cohen. He won't mind, because he likes teaching people Qigong. And it's from e-tron, which is his system that he teaches. And I can't remember what it's called, something to do with the water and the waves, or rolling with the waves, not rolling with the waves, but it's like that, moving with the waves. So put our feet apart. He won't mind me doing this because I just want to use this as an example. So if we're going forward and backwards, we have this idea in our consciousness, our teaching is our pendulum's going forward and backwards. From our heart, and our heart is like our pendulum between our legs is going frontwards and backwards. We have this whole idea of that. We have this movement inside our body. Now our consciousness, of course, is watching, our own mind's watching ourselves do this. And we've already taught ourselves how to do it, so it doesn't have to think about how to do it. It just turns the button on, move forward and backwards, and it goes click, and it starts doing it by itself. If you've never done this in your whole life, if I got my son to do that, or a 6-year-old who's never been taught how to do this with just this and nothing else, he'd sit there and he'd be a little bit jerky about not quite sure how to do that because it's a new thing. But because we've done it lots, our body already knows. So just switch it off, turns on the program, starts going forward and backwards. Very simple. Now if we do the arms, we bring the arms, and the arms go forward and the arms go backwards. And I say this is like the idea of the waves. We have an exercise that's very similar to this in the monastery exercise, but I won't do that in this class. But it's a very similar principle of this flow of water. So you have the idea of the body's going forward and the body's going back. Body's going forward, body's going back. Now we're changing our consciousness now because we're aware that as our body goes forward, the arms going forward, as we go back, the arms go back. So we're changing an experience to change our thoughts and our program in our mind, and our program can see we're doing something else now. Forward and backwards. There you go. Very different concept. And we've got the idea of this. So the mind's going, okay, well, we're okay with it. It doesn't take long to work out how to do that. And of course, the exercise that we do in the monastery exercise is reversing this. So we're actually going backwards and go forward. So as we go forward, we go backwards, and then we go forward, we go backwards. It's not quite like this, of course, but understand body's going forward, arms going back, arms going forward, body's going back. So as soon as I change this is not part of his exercise, by the way, I'm just showing you this. So we're going counter flow of the exercise. We're going back as the arms go forward, going forward as the arms go back. So now we've got two things going on in the body. So it's one thing to have the body and the arms going forward and backwards, and they're in synchronicity with each other. And so the mind can hold on to that idea or the concept of arms forward, arms back as the body goes forward and backwards, And what we've done is we've swapped it over. So now our consciousness has to go, okay, well, this is totally another thing. So you can do it a different way. So you can go back and you can go forward. Okay, same principle, totally different thing, different experience. So now your mind's having a very different experience of what this feels like. Your body's having a different experience. So look, this is different than we were doing it before. Both of them are correct. They're just both different, but I'm still moving forward and backwards. The arm's still moving forward and backwards. I just changed how it does it. So as soon as I do that, it opens up a different pathway of possibility. Otherwise, if this is all you know, that's the only way you think you can do it, then that's all you can do. So as soon as I introduce that you can do it a different way, and I say, well, you can go the other way, you can go forward and backwards, and the body goes, oh, okay, oh, I didn't realize there was another one. So we in the world as humans, we get idea that there's only one way, things only happen one way, or this is how you do something. And there can be a completely different way of doing it without knowing there is, because you've never taught it, and you've never taught it, never shown it. And so we get really narrow-minded in the idea that this is the way you do it. When I'm walking, I walk this way. Well, there could be other ways of walking, but we've never been shown the other way, so mind doesn't know. So this is how we increase our consciousness, and how we grow our consciousness is keep giving it things our mind's never done before to keep making it grow, and then keep learning more and more about who we are physically. Yep. So we go the idea. So we go back to that idea. And I'm going same as my body as the arms. I'm going to give you another one now. So I'm going to have another one where I'm going forward, and then we're standing in the water, and the waves are coming towards you. Leonard Cohen uses this as an example. And the water's coming towards you, and as it comes towards you, I'm going back. Yeah? And as the water washes out, I'm going to change it. So as the water washes out, I'm going to go forward. And as the wave comes in, I'm going to go back. Now, what's driving the exercise now It's not my body, my pendulum going forward and backwards. What's driving it now is the concept of a thought in my mind that the wave's coming forward and I'm going backwards, and the wave's going back out again and I'm going back out. It's sucking me back out and pushing me out. Wave comes in, then it sucks itself back. And I'm just using that concept of that wave, and we've all been to the beach, we've all seen waves happen. And so we can actually feel that happening in our body. You can feel the body's wave going back. And you can actually let the wave do it for you. And now your body's not doing it, the wave's doing it. The concept of the wave is doing it. Just a thought is creating the body to move. And it becomes very real. Yeah. Good. So now the mind's going, oh yeah, I can get this. I can hold that idea, that. Good. Good. So that's one way of doing it. So another one, put the wave behind you, and the wave's pushing you that way, and then it sucks you back the other way. So now instead of being in the water facing the sea this way, I've turned around, and now I'm facing the waves behind me still, and I'm going to do the other way where the wave pushes me forward, and then it sucks me back, which is totally different if I'm facing this way. Yep. So I'm just doing that so you can see what I mean. So now the wave's coming from behind. So instead of it coming from forward and pushing me back, now I've got the wave at the back pushing me forward. And then it sucks my arms back. Then it pushes me forward, and it sucks me back. Pushes me forward. So your mind's going, oh, okay, there's a totally another way you can do this then. Now I'm getting the body to move with just a different thought. And now I can feel the body being sucked back, and I feel the wave pushing me forward, wave pushing me back, wave pushing me forward, wave pushing me back. And all I've done is just change the thought in my mind. Yep, I'll just keep going backwards and forwards. And I haven't done anything else except change the way I think. And then it's changed the way the exercise feels. Even though I'm still just going forward and backwards, exactly what I was to start off with. Remember, I set it up to start off on purpose as a pendulum's going forward and backwards. Then the arms are going forward and backwards from the pendulum. Yeah. And then I've just changed the mind and gone, okay, well, let's not use the pendulum idea concept. Let's use the wave coming forward, pushing you back, and then sucking you forward. And then we just changed another concept where the wave's pushing you forward and then sucking you back. Yep. So all these exist, but they're all different. But the one to start off with was just the pendulum. Good. That's 3. Let's keep going. Same exercise. So this time we're going to have the idea, as we go forward, we're pushing against the wave and then come back. And then push against the wave and then come back. So now we feel like we're pushing against, as the wave's coming towards us, we're pushing against the wave, and then relax. And then push against the wave, then relax. Push against the wave, relax. Good, push against the wave, and then as you relax, I do this. So there's a fourth, this is the fourth one. I'm pushing against the wave. Good. Good. Another idea. Get another idea. It's not only we pushing towards the wave as we're going forward, but as we relax, then we go with the wave. And we push against the wave. Now you could all imagine doing this in the beach against the wave and let the wave push you back. Push against the flow of the water, relax, it pushes you back. Another idea of your mind thinking of what it can do. And all of this, you can feel this in your body, but it makes you, the way you feel, the way you're experiencing this exercise different just by changing your mind. So we're growing our consciousness. Growing us all these different ways you can do one exercise. We haven't finished yet. There's a few more yet. Good. Push against. Good. We're going to change it again. Another idea. When we go forward, when we come backwards, we want to feel like we're pushing against the wave at the back. The wave's coming from behind us, and as we go backwards, we're pushing against the wave, and then let it come forward. Push against the wave, and then relax. Your body comes forward with the wave. Push against the wave as we're going backwards. We just turned around in the water. Push against the wave, and come forward. So all we're having resistance with the exercise. Come forward. So of course, as you're pushing back, you can feel that weight of the wave coming towards you. It's harder, and then relax. It goes nice and forward, fast. Push against the wave. Come back. Push against the wave. Come back. There we go. We're up to 5 now. 5 different ways of doing exactly the same exercise just by changing your mind. So this, all it does is just change your parameter, your paradigm. Paradigm would be the right word. Changing the paradigm of how you think inside an exercise is exactly the same. I've added a whole lot of pieces to this exercise that's not part of the exercise, just to show you the different pieces to it. So we have all these concepts of movement, but the exercise from outside, if I didn't say this to anybody else, if you just saw me on the beach doing this, then you'd think I'm doing that. You don't realize I can do this 5 different ways, even though I'm doing this, but I can keep changing the way I'm doing it. What's motivating the exercise, I can keep changing it. There's more yet. We haven't finished yet. Good? But from the outside, it looks exactly the same, except from the inside, I'm having totally different experiences. My consciousness is having different experiences of how you do that. Outside, exactly the same. Think of this in life. Same experience, totally different way of perception. Okay, this is deep and meaningful, isn't it? Okay, so now we'll change. We'll give it another one. We'll use the wave process again. So, what do we do? Okay, we'll do it both ways. So now I'm going to push against the wave as I go forward, and then the wave's coming from the back, and I'm going to push against the wave as I go back. Push against the wave going forward, push against the wave going back. Now it feels a lot harder, doesn't it? So you go push forward, and there's no relax here, and pushes back. Push forward against the wave, push back. And so you can feel the body, it's not as easy. You've got to put more effort, more energy to push against the wave, going back, push against the wave going forward. The wave's coming from behind, push against the wave at the back, push against the wave in the forward. So I've got all these concepts. Now we're up to, what are we up to? Number 6, aren't we? Push it forward, push it back. New concept. Push forward, push back. And you notice that as soon as you do that, as soon as you bring your consciousness, it's difficult pushing against the wave at the back and then pushing the wave at the front. The wave's coming forward and you're pushing against the forward, and the wave's coming from behind and you're pushing back against the wave. Now we have different thoughts. 6. We're going to change it again. So we'll just change it, because when we did that, you actually experienced it being more difficult to move against the energy because you're pushing against energy, you're pushing against the energy. Well, let's take away that concept and let's go with it both ways. So as I'm going forward, I'm getting sucked forward as the wave goes out, and as I'm going backwards, the wave sucks me backwards. And then it sucks me forward as it goes out, and it sucks me back as it goes out. Sucks me forward as it goes out. This is number 7. Sucks me back. Oh, it's easier, isn't it? Notice the body just goes forward, it goes back quite quick. Comes forward really quickly. Comes back really quickly. Forward really quickly. Now this is the wave withdrawing. This is the wave going backwards. The wave's going back, sucking me back. Wave's going back, sucking me back. Sucks me forward, sucks me back. Good. That's 7, isn't it? Let's do 8. It's bizarre, isn't it? This is bizarre. This is like, you can do this for any exercise. I'm just using this particular one because it's an easy principle. Because I can't do this one. Because I don't want to do that one in this exercise, so I'm using this exercise to show you the same thing. So, other one. Okay, so now we're going to have, so it's been sucked you, the wave's sucking you back and you're going forward as it sucks you back. Now we're going to have the wave from behind pushing you forward, and the wave in the front's pushing you back. So it's going to be a lot stronger. It's not just sucking, now the wave's coming forward, because as the wave comes up, there's a lot of power. There is a lot of power going back, but there's generally not as much power as going forward. So you're going to feel it slightly different. So as I go forward, the wave behind me is pushing me forward, pushes me forward, and then the wave's going to push me back in the front, push me back. Now you're just about getting pulled. You can feel it, this pressure of the whole wave. I'm just letting go. I have to catch it. Yeah. Now all of a sudden it wants to go really, and what I spend most of my time doing is putting the brake on. As I go back, I can feel I've got to slam on the brake, otherwise I'm going to fall over. Coming forward, I've got to put the brakes on. But the initial part of the movement, you can feel it accelerates really quickly because the waves come quite hard. And it all depends on how big your wave is, of course, how fast you're going to move forward and backwards. We're up to 8 now, aren't we? This is 8 different ways of doing the same exercise. And it feels totally different. It has a different energetic feeling in the body, and all I've done is change my mind. Nothing else. I've just flipped into a different program in my mind and running a different program in the background. Good. We're up to 8. Let's use a few more. So the idea of the pendulum, I've used the pendulum one, which was number 1. I'm going to go back to more physical ones. We'll leave the wave one for the moment. I'm going to go back. There's another wave one here, certainly. So we're going to have another one where, well, actually, we'll stay with the wave one first, and I'll go to the physical one next. So this one is that the water's not moving. The water's not moving at all, but you're in the water. So now we're in an idea of we're in a swimming pool up to our shoulders. Oh, excuse me, our head's out of the water so we can breathe, of course. And the water's just sitting. Now we're going forward, and the water. Now all the water's doing is rushing around my arms, and you can feel the water rushing around my body as I'm going forward and backwards, but the water's actually stationary. Yep. Now when you do this, you're going to feel really heavy. Yeah. There you go. That's number 9. Standing in the water. Of course, it's a lot slower. And if you've ever done this movement in water, we would have all done this in some time, not necessarily with the arms out like this, but we've stood in the water pushing against the water and pushing back, and we know what this feels like, so our mind already knows the concept of it. So when we do it standing out here, we can access that concept. We've all stood in waves, well, hopefully we've all stood in waves in our lives, so we know what it feels like, so it's easy to access the concept. If you'd never stood in a wave before, and I told you to do it, you wouldn't know what it felt like, you'd have to make it up. But because we've all felt that experience, it's a real thing. So we can access that experience really quickly. Same with I'm standing in the water and I'm pushing towards and I'm pushing back in the water. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like when the water runs past my arm and you can feel it. And I'm making space and the water runs over the top of it and then runs back and then runs over the top and runs back. And I can feel that running through my fingertips. I know what it feels like. Good. Here. We'll stay with the fluid, we'll do a different one. Olive oil, because olive oil is thicker than water, yeah? So this is high quality organic olive oil, because we only use good quality oil when we're standing in it. And for some reason we're in a vat of it. We're at the olive oil factory, and you've gone and climbed into the vat with the oil, and it just happens to be this high, all the olive oil. Put your hands out. Well, you can't even put them up that fast, can you? You put your arms up in the olive oil, they go up slow because it's thick. Good. And then move forward in the olive oil and backwards again. This is number 10. And of course now it's slower because it runs around your arms differently. But you can still feel in your body, and you can still feel the movement in your body. But you're having to drive this energetic, whether you're using your muscles in your legs to move forward or backwards in the thickness, or we just use our idea of our pendulum moving backwards and forwards, that concept of movement. Or we're using muscles, either or. There are 2 different ways of doing it as well. Inside the oil, because they're different options. Different experience. Another concept, changing our consciousness. 10 different ways of doing the exercise. Good. Now, get out of the olive oil, have a quick shower, wash it all off. Good for the skin, but wash it all off. We're clean again. Back outside and standing on the ground again. We're up to 11, next one. So, the next one's going to be moving from kidney point to kidney point. So we've done the pendulum one from our heart, and the pendulum's going forward and backwards. Now we're going to do the idea of moving from kidney point to kidney point, and that energy of going from point to point is what's moving the arms. So we go kidney point, kidney point. Now there are exercises we do that are like this. Yep, when we're doing... what's an easy one to think of? Oh, there's lots of them. Scoop the earth, scoop the sea, does this one, we're moving forward and backwards. Rolling with the waves does the moving forward and backwards. And it does it from kidney point to kidney point. Yep. So when we're doing seaweed exercise from the monastery school, goes from kidney point to kidney point. So we know what this concept, we've worked with this one before too. If you haven't, if people are watching this exercise and you've never done this before, then you're moving from the kidney one point in the bottom of your feet, and you're moving energy from one point to the other foot, and you're going straight across the ground in between the 2 of them, and you're moving energy from one point to the other. Yep, and it goes forward from kidney point to kidney point. This is number 11. Yep. Goes from that point to that point, and we just think of that in our mind, and that's how we're moving our body. Yep, good. Change it. Number 12, it comes up from the kidney point, through your lower down and then back down to the other kidney point. It comes up up and then down to the back foot. Comes up the back foot into the front kidney point. Up the kidney point to your dantian end, down to the back one. This is your lower dantian, energy centre. Comes up the back, down to the front. Up the back, down to the front. As we're doing this exercise. Comes up and down to the other one. Comes up and down the other one. This is 12. Good. Easy one. Moving your knees forward and backwards. 13. Very good. Feels different. 14. Moving your hips forward and backwards. 15. Move your shoulders forward and backwards. 'And we're going to finish with 16. Anybody know what the 16th one is? We've done all of them, just one to go. It's easy. Head string. Yep. So now we're going to get the head string to move our body without a mind. And by the way, we've been doing the same way. Of course, that's 16 on one side. You could change the feet and do it on the other side if you want, and change the foot over and do the whole 16 on the other side as well. We're just doing one side. We should actually do a bit on the other side, probably, otherwise we'll be unbalanced. So head string. No, actually no, you need to do it on the same side so you have the same experience, different experience, same foot forward. Head string moving you forward and backwards. So your head string pulling you forward and the head string's moving you back. Yep. So now we have this idea of external force again, like the waves. The waves are from outside. An idea from outside sources moving you, with the wave moving you forward and backwards. Now we've got it moving from your head, from the top of your head, a head string, and the head string's moving you forward like that, like a puppet. And you've got the string moving forward and the string moving back, and somebody's moving the string forward and backwards for you. Totally different feeling. There you go, 16. I'm glad I've got this recorded. I'm never going to remember them all. But totally different expression, totally different experience, totally different feeling. Exactly the same. Good. Very good. I just need to go the other. I just realised we didn't change feet. We need to go the other side, just do it a few times. Oh, see, totally different experience. As soon as you change the other side, feels totally different. Change the other foot forward. Look at that. It's like starting from scratch again, isn't it? And you could do all 16 of them again this way, of course, too. Because all of these different movements, depending on which one you're using at the moment. And you can work out which one you're using. I just showed you a whole lot of the 16 different ones, and you can work out, are you doing knees? Are you doing hips? Are you doing feet? Are you doing muscles? Which way is making you go forward and backwards? Well, you might still be doing because you used your head string before. You might be still using your head string because you haven't changed it. Yeah, very cool. Good exercise. There you go. Just finish that. Just shake your arms out. Get rid of the tension out of your arms. Very good. When you hold your arms up, there is some tension building in the arms. So there you go. So 16 different ways to do the same exercise, and the exercise looks identical to somebody outside of you. They're not going to be able to see any difference, except the way you changed your mind. And you did it from a different consciousness, different concept or different idea. So that, what it does is that expands your awareness or your consciousness to another level, that you have all these different options to do exactly the same thing. Sometimes we think we only have one option, and we don't. We have so many different ones. And I think this is how we change the way we see the world, and everything else has changed the option of how we see it. Not only we see it one way, but no, there could be 16 other ways of seeing the same thing. Seeing the same thing from outside. People, you see somebody doing this exercise, you think, oh, I can see that, I worked that out, and not knowing he's doing it 16 different ways while you're watching him, it looks exactly the same. And I think that's really important as us humans to understand that anything we do in the world, there's just so many different ways, and it's not necessarily what we think we're seeing is what's really happening. Another good point. This is very deep in philosophy today. And what we're doing is just changing our consciousness to possibilities of all these different stems of way we can do something. The way we sit, the way we walk, the way what Mark's doing at the moment. Meditating, how you meditate, what you think's happening in meditation, what's really happening. You're sitting in the same posture, you're not moving, but because you change your thought, everything changes in your body. You change your awareness. You sit somewhere in a building, you're sitting in the building, and just by closing your eyes, you can be sitting outside in the snow, or you can be sitting on a mountain. You can change anywhere you are just by changing the way you think, even though you're still just sitting in exactly the same place, but you can go and do anything with it. You can feel the body energy moving around through your body inside, but from outside, it just looks like you're sitting still. There can be all these dimensions of things happening with you while you're there, and outside, you can't see any of them. Just look like you're sitting. And I think when we understand that we have this ability to have all these different experiences from the same thing, then realize what we see in other people or what we see around us might not be what's really happening. It's just our perception of what we think it is. I just want to leave you with that thought. I want to leave you with a thought about a thought. Gee, that'll keep you busy. Life's not what we think it is. But anyway, 16 different ways of doing exactly the same exercise. Thank you, Mr. Cohen. I appreciate borrowing your exercise to do that. And so I understand that. It's like, just the expansion. Now, I've only did 16. There'd probably be a whole lot of other ways we could have done it. I just used 16 and it'll just keep coming to me. But there'd be a whole lot of other ways of doing exactly the same exercise. Yeah. We didn't even talk about moving your arms. We didn't talk about moving your elbow strings to generate. We didn't talk about using your wrist strings to generate your arms. We didn't talk about any of those concepts. So we got to 16 was enough. Just keeps going. So then everything we do is different concept. And I like that. I thought I'll keep that in mind today. I thought it was a beautiful idea. And I saw it. I did an exercise. I realised, heavens, he's doing an exercise, but there were so many different ways he could do that exercise depending on how he changed his mind. And so I thought we'd play with it today. So there you go. Have a beautiful day today. And we'll see you on Thursday. If we don't see you on Thursday, depends what time in the morning you want to get out of bed. Otherwise, go and watch the class on Wednesday. I don't know what we're going to do, of course, but yeah, great to see you. Thank you. Bex. Rebecca, hello. Good to see you today. See, I only know because I know the picture. I can see it. Rebecca, Walter, Mark, and Steph. Good to see you in class today. Have fun with that. You're only what do you think? I just think that just opens up a huge door of consciousness and perception. Roll back on your thumb. Left hand underneath, right hand on top. Go on. Bring towards your heart and bring your hands down to lower dantian. Very cool. And step back to the group, bow to each other. There you go. Have a beautiful day today.